To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You're the boy from the circus.
So I have this thing with rolls.
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
The staff chose me, and I choose you.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, August 8th, 2020. I'm Little Eddie O'Hare, aspiring professional fanboy.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we have 2 new episodes this week. One of them is a penultimate episode, and one of them is a finale season.
Okay.
So,
Come on, Sarah. Let's get real. They're both penultimates.
I mean, everything in 2020 is a penultimate, right? Everything is like, well, this is where we're stopping.
We'll get to that. But yeah, that feels very much like a. All right. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I don't want to get ahead of us.
Look at us. We're like 30 seconds in, and you're just like, let's just jump. Let's just jump to it.
Yeah. I do want to thank everyone for listening. Lots of things going on right now. I'm recording from a brand new computer that I just got. It's a gaming laptop, so it goes really fast. And also,
question: are you going to use it for gaming?
No. Hopefully, maybe for high-end video editing down the line. But I think I was due for a new computer, so I figured why not go for the big upgrade all at once. So yeah. And also, apologies in the background. I don't think you'll hear them, but there are people with chainsaws next door to me. So if you hear that, you're not in a horror movie.
Well, you might be, but not because of us.
Yes, this is true. Oh yeah. Thank you for listening. If you have a chance to rate and review us, if the app you're listening to allows you to do that, please do that. That helps us out. That helps people find us. Also, if you want to be extra helpful, we are part of Wicked Theory Studios. And they have a patreon.com/Wicked Theory, where you can a little as $1 a month, you can help us with our overhead. And there's a bonus podcast there called Ed Bonds with Bill, where I show our executive producer Bill Sweeney James Bond movies. Most recently, we did the 1967 Casino Royale, starring Peter Sellers and David Niven and Woody Allen and Orson Welles, which was a lot of fun trying to figure out how the hell that movie got made.
Sometimes that's the most fun conversation about a movie. How did this happen?
Yes. Yeah. And Sarah, I hear you've become you have thoughts on Angel Hernandez. This is true?
Yeah, he's trash. That guy is trash. How is he allowed to still call in Major League Baseball? Oh my God. I understand he's high up in the union, but does he even want to be here? No. Yeah, so apparently I have strong feelings about officiating in the Major League Baseball world. That is a thing that's happened to me this summer, because 2020 is just upside down and inside out.
Oh, wow. One day we'll have to get together and have a rant, and I'll share my rant about why the hell is Alex Rodriguez allowed to call baseball games, but that's a story for another day.
All I know is the Cardinals, which are, like the enemy team for a lot of the area where I live, have not played a single game in the month of August. So I don't understand how we still have baseball, honestly.
Oh, wow. Sarah's throwing it. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I can hang with the cool kids now with baseball, sort of.
Really upfront, about 3 minutes before we started recording, Sarah and I came to the decision next week, since there's only going to be one episode, we're in line for a retro pick. And that retro pick is going to be Supergirl, the movie starring Helen Slater, which is from, I think, 1984, 1985. It is available for streaming on HBO Max. So those of you who are subscribed to HBO Max can go check it out there. It's also available for rent, on demand in all the usual places. I just ordered the Blu-ray for myself last night just for kicks and giggles. So yeah, if you want to see the actress who plays Kara's Earthbound mom actually play Supergirl, and since it's the Stargirl finale, we can compare and contrast female superheroes 35 years apart.
I mean, I don't think I've seen that movie since 1985, so I'm really excited to watch it. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Also, friend of the podcast at Tanya Mel, and also actual friend of mine who's staying with me right now, just slipped a Post-it note under the door. Angel Hernandez is the Hawkman of the MLB. And you know what? I understand every part of that reference. On the flip side of the Post-it, Stargirl will never be an accepted part of the DC universe until Constantine shows up. So, all right. Is that a segue into Stargirl? Is that how we do it?
Yeah, that's how we do it. All right, so we're jumping right in. Our first episode we're going to cover this week is Stargirl, Season 1, penultimate episode, Stars and Stripe, Part 1. The Dugans fended off attacks from Tigress and Sportsmaster and hunkered down in an enormous hunting lodge with the other JSA members and janitor Justin. Dragon King and Brainwave made final preparations to begin brainwashing half the country with the Synaptic Amplifier. Last minute reveal: after Brainwave began his broadcast, Pat turned on Courtney.
Well, that was quite a penultimate episode.
Yes, lot throwdown. We had some really solid action bits in throughout the episode. I thought the back and forth between Pat and Sportsmaster in the garage, and Courtney and Barbara against Tigress in at the house, I thought that was really well done. Excellent use of the powers, and Mike using the drill bit like a horror villain to save his dad from Sportsmaster. I thought that was a really great way to kick off this episode.
I loved everything Mike did this week. I am so glad he's in the know. I'm so glad we got the why not me? Like, we're both just kids. Why not me? I love that beat in any kind of superhero setting. Also, I don't think I've ever hated a villain as much as I hate the Huntsman for coaching Pat during the fight. You know what? Back off on his eating habits and exercise habits and just let him fight for his life. That man is a monster.
They don't call him Crusher for nothing.
I hate him.
Yeah. So yeah, and the bad guys really really came out swinging this episode, and you could tell they were our heroes are really behind the 8 ball. All right, I gotta say something quick. So Pat takes him to this cabin, which I guess is a cabin that was in the family or something, but that is not a cabin. That thing is enormous.
I want to live in that cabin. I rarely have real estate envy on superhero shows, but dang, that is a cabin.
Yeah, that is an enormous hunting lodge that like if you owned that, why don't you live in it? Like, I don't
If you own
understand.
that, you should not be living in a regular family house in Blue Valley. You should be a millionaire if that is your secondary home. Like that, when they said cabin, I was like, oh, Evil Dead cabin, like crappy wooden, possibly haunted by demons cabin. No, no, this is
Mhm,
a like we're gonna go in with 6 other families and get the nicest rental
mhm.
cabin in the resort lodge area because we can afford it for 1 week cabin. That's
Yeah.
not a this is my family's cabin and I go there once a year. Oh my god. How rich are they? How rich is Pat? Dang.
Yeah, I think this is just more of a
Yeah, I
disconnect.
love that cabin. That cabin
Yeah.
might be my winner of the week. I'm not
It
gonna lie.
it it's not a cabin. And maybe I'm just speaking from my Boy Scouts experience, but like a cabin is one story, maybe, no more than 3 rooms. And whether or not it has a bathroom is, bathroom optional. All right? That is a giant lodge. It's on the water, it's got the huge balcony. Yeah, yeah, that thing was huge. Um
Honestly, if somebody could tweet at me where that is located so I could rent it for a vacation someday, I would love that. It's beautiful. It's a stately lodge, as you said.
Mhm. Yes. I am a little confused as to why janitor Justin hasn't become Sir Justin yet. And he's just the weird guy wandering around the cabin, just poking into everybody's business and then wandering away.
Yeah, I did think calling the dog a steed was adorable. Adorable. But I kind of felt this way about a lot of the supporting characters. They showed us every one of the characters, but they didn't get to do a lot. Like, we had a lot of Beth, but she didn't, I don't know, she was exposition Beth. And then we had, was Wildcat, was Yolanda even, like, she was on screen, but I don't know. They kept showing people, but nobody was this was a very full episode, I guess is what I'm saying. I needed a little bit more of a breather or a little more
Yeah.
time to uncork some of those storylines and let them simmer a little bit.
Yeah, Yolanda was still kind of sulking over Henry Jr.'s death, understandably.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I'll give her that. Poor Cindy still just talking through a hole in the door.
yeah, yeah. Rick had that moment. Although I did think it was kind of bogus that Pat's the one who asks about the car and gives him the clue to the key um to the code for the journal. I wish Rick had been able to figure that out himself, or maybe if
Yeah.
janitor Justin had you know I just didn't understand. It's more like we have all of these characters and we haven't really figured out how to get them together yet. Um, it's still they're not quite a team just yet, although they came pretty close by the end of this episode. Um, yeah, and so now our heroes finally know the ISA's plan, although it might be too late because we
Too
have
late.
yeah, we have 30 minutes and all of the adults have turned bad. Um yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
a bold choice to set that brainwave scene inside of Cerebro. That's a weird crossing of comic cultures that I wasn't expecting, but all right.
I mean, technically the character's like 20 years older. So um even though he pretty much has the same power set as Professor X. So yeah, but I'm excited for next week. I thought, in terms of like what you want out of a penultimate episode is the big lead up to the finale, and you want to see all the chess pieces moving into place. And those big actions. I feel like this had everything. Um
And I hope I'm not setting myself up for disappointment, but the fight scenes have been so good, and leading into the finale, I have very high expectations for just knockdown drag out. So that should be fun.
mhm, mhm. Oh, and there was one random scene thrown in there where the fiddler was talking with her son, who I'm sorry, but just like he ripped your jacket. As mean as that bully might have been, um, this son seems a little thin-skinned to me, a little kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the fiddler, don't taunt the huntsman. Don't taunt that couple. They will straight murder you. Like you have to know that, right?
Yeah, you mean Sportsmaster?
Oh, good grief. Yes. Why do I keep doing that? Sportsmaster. Yeah. What they those are a thin-skinned, short-tempered couple, and they're gonna kill you. That's what's gonna happen. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the fiddler's on his second body, so maybe he's just confident that he can handle it. Yeah. All right. Is there anything you think we didn't cover in this episode?
No, I think that's you just, you build a giant robot and it's great until it turns on you. So, that's just let that be a lesson to you kids.
Yeah. All right. So now we're moving on to our other episode this week, Doom Patrol, Season 2 Finale, Wax Patrol. Cliff had to miss Clara's wedding to join the rest of the Doom Patrol at the Dale County Fair, where everyone came face to face with their own imaginary friends. Jane drifted in the underground well while reliving Miranda's failed attempt to find love in Milwaukee. Last minute reveal, Niles lay helpless as Dorothy put on boots, lit a bonfire, made her own fancy spear, and ran right into the clutches of the Candlemaker.
Whew. This was an episode.
Sarah.
First things first. Ed, did you have any imaginary friends who would like to murder you?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things. Like you're supposed to like forget your imaginary friends at a certain point, right? So I think I had them, but I don't have any memory of what it was.
I meant to text my mom and ask her. I don't remember any either. Just to be like, Mom, did I have? So, but yeah, all those people really for sure remembered their terrifying imaginary friends.
My favorite was Imaginary Jesus. Just because he cursed as much as Clef.
Yep.
Can you take your own name in vain? Yeah. So yeah, Sarah, this show better not get canceled.
Oh, hard agree. I mean, I guess this is, since this is the finale, and a shortened finale, they had to cut it off sooner than they expected because of COVID. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Evidently, there is supposed to be a 10th episode.
Yeah. I thought this actually worked pretty well as a finale. I mean, it's real cliffhangery, but it was fine. It was a satisfying. Okay, we did that season as long as we get a season 3. Oh my god.
Well, that's the thing with all the shifting with DC Universe and everything else, and HBO Max. I'm just really afraid that Doom Patrol might get lost in the shuffle, and if that happens, it cannot end like this. And like,
yeah.
I really thought Dorothy had it together. I thought Niles, he's just getting worried. She's got the like giant spear. Looks like it's made out of rock candy. She's all set. And then it goes to the wide shot and she takes 2 steps forward and I go, oh no. Oh no. This isn't. And yeah, no. And he just like grabs her and picks her up and you're like, no, Dorothy, no. To have this ends with the entire Doom Patrol just covered in wax, immobile, and the girl who you've been protecting the whole season just gets smothered by the bad guy. And I feel like there had to be, because this episode's about 5 minutes shorter than most of the other episodes. So I'm wondering if there was supposed to be a more proper conclusion to the Jane Miranda storyline, because you have that moment where like Miranda admits that she's not Miranda,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't find out who she is.
Yeah, I agree. That part, the Dorothy stuff felt like that's a cliffhangery finale. If you've got to do it that way, that's a strong cliffhanger. But that Jane Miranda ending was a little more like I was waiting for one more scene, one more a bigger reveal for a bigger cliffhanger there. Basically, yeah, I felt the same way. I'm glad we agree. I did not expect the orgy. While we're talking about Jane, that was okay.
Who
It's a consistent theme through the season, but
you
whoever
know
does.
who expects an orgy outside of a Rudy Ray Moore movie? I mean, really?
Well, apparently the boyfriend did. So I gotta say, I sometimes struggle with Jane as a character. I find her to be just sort of, you know, abrasive, frustrating, which is the point of the character. That's fine. But I was so glad when she showed up to be like, oh no, 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 we're shutting this down. I was so glad to see Jane. That was the happiest I've ever been for that personality to come out. So very team Jane. I'm glad she punched that dude in the face. I also love that all the men had found their gross bikini briefs for that last scene with all of them. So that was funny to me. That was funny.
Yeah, it's amazing the lack of nudity that like you could see that is a full on orgy, but you don't it still could have aired on network TV. I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, I did have one of those moments where I was like, God, what was it like to try to weave that standards and practices gauntlet, trying to get the right amount, but not too much. But yes,
I mean, I feel like that those camera operators need to get paid double just for that scene.
Yeah. So anyway, Team Jane, I am curious who that is if it's not Miranda. But it was sad to see that, that she had happiness and stupid 70s swingers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Never trust a guy in the corner playing Dylan. Just...
Nope. Look, okay, I've put it off long enough. Ed, can I say some things about that pinball machine?
Oh yeah, go right ahead. The one that Dorothy was crouching on top of, hiding.
Yes.
Hiding.
Did you not know that I would have a lengthy dissertation on this? Okay, here's the thing. That was Funhouse. It was made in 1990 by Williams. The game designer is Pat Lawler. What's interesting to me, and me alone, but buckle up everybody, when the Doom Patrol was introduced in that Titans episode, we saw the manor, and there was a pinball machine in the manor that Beast Boy got to play with, wasn't it? And that was the Addams Family, which is one of the best pinball machines ever designed. That was also designed by Pat Lawler. So I don't know if somebody on set is a big fan of Pat Lawler, who is one of the best game designers in the business, or if they just wanted Funhouse because Funhouse represents the fair where they were. But I thought it was interesting that those are both really prominently featured Lawler machines. Incidentally, Lawler, the same year, 1990, designed Whirlwind, which is a pinball machine or a tornado chaser, and it has fans on top that will activate to blow on your face when the tornado comes. It's amazing. Pat Lawler has the best toys. They're delightful. We own one of his machines dialed in, which is super fun. So that is, here endeth the pinball lecture. But yeah, you got to know, the three of you out there who know me and watch this show were like, oh yeah, she's gonna have things to say. And guess what? I did.
There you go. Wow.
Okay,
wow.
Now you can dissertate on something for me now. What would you like to?
Well, I was gonna say this brings back memory. I mean, the three pinball machines that I remember as a kid, finding in like bowling alleys and arcades, were the Addams Family, the Twilight Zone, and Terminator 2.
Two of those are really good machines.
Okay.
It isn't Terminator 2.
Okay.
That's delightful.
All right.
There's a special edition Twilight Zone machine that is painted in all black and white that is beautiful. Okay. All right. Now I'm done.
So yeah. And I feel like the imaginary friend scenes were good, but they seemed kind of static. And And while I think I think they're good to watch for like if you're new to the show, but I feel like they sort of explored a lot of the same emotional baggage that we've already done with these characters.
Yeah, in some ways, it was kind of making explicit the things that they'd been alluding to in all the other flashbacks. The only one that was really fresh, I thought, was Cliff and Jesus. Like that was the one that I didn't expect quite as much. But Rita, I love Rita, but that treaded some of the same ground. Although I did enjoy the tap dancing, that was fun. But yeah, same. Vic, we get it. That was it was the same stuff said through somebody in a different costume. So
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Oh yeah,
Something a
although
little unexpected or surprising might have been stronger.
yeah. Although I did really like the ending to Vix, where he's pretty much like, "Oh no, I'm not supposed to give you advice. I'm here for affirmation." So you killed somebody, okay? Oh, but otherwise, yeah, I think this was a really good penultimate episode. I think it set up a lot of the conflicts, but it leaves too many answers, and the fact that like I mean, Jane is pretty much immobile the whole episode.
Yeah.
Her thing is totally internal, and like the last like 15 minutes of this of the last like 10 minutes at least of this episode, all of the main team members are out of commission. They're all waxed up by then. Um, yeah.
Waxed up. That was gross effects. I enjoyed that.
Yes.
Oh, also, shout out to the giant spider just appearing in Doom Patrol Manor, and Larry being like, "No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Not okay."
Yeah. Yeah. And if Cliff doesn't make it to that wedding,
Honestly, poor Cliff.
yeah.
I understood his conflict. That was well done. I thought he'd been moving toward that all season long, and for him to choose his daughter over saving the world, I got it. I got the tension, and I got why he'd say, "I got to fix this with my daughter." I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Poor Cliff.
Oh, Doom Patrol. I see, like, every time a show ends, I feel like we may never see it again, or it may be like 2 years. And
Uh-huh.
so I'm really trying to like hold on to like the feeling of this episode. I don't want to stop talking about it, but Sarah, I think we've come to that point. We got to let Doom Patrol go. It
Well,
was a
for
great
now,
season
just
2.
we're gonna say it's not goodbye forever.
Mhm.
It's just goodbye for now.
Goodbye for
Also,
now.
I owe this show an apology. I was complaining about how dark it was and how hard to see. It turns out I think my Fire Stick is having some problems. I typically watch DC Universe through my Fire Stick. I think my Fire Stick is having some color rendering problems because I had the same problem with CBS Press Express or CBS All Access. So I suspect that had I been watching it on my computer, it would have been fine. So I apologize, Doom Patrol, for daring to compare you to Game of Thrones in terms of muddy picture. That was not you. That was my tech, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just in the interest of fairness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now you mentioned CBS All Access, so I have to ask: were you watching Star Trek Lower Decks?
I wasn't. I was watching The Good Fight.
Oh,
I might. I have a month.
yeah.
I'm playing the free trial month
Mhm,
game right now,
mhm.
and so we're gonna finish Good Fight this weekend probably, and from there, I'd kind of like to jump into season 2 of The Twilight Zone, which I enjoyed season 1 for what it was, but I am curious. Have you seen any of it? Lower
Well,
Deck,
the first episode dropped this
Lower Act.
week.
What is it? Star Trek.
Star Trek Lower Decks.
Lower
The
Decks. Okay.
yeah, the first episode dropped this week. It's the Star Trek animated series, and yeah, it's given me new faith and hope in the world. Um. So yeah. I highly recommend it.
Cool. I've seen ads for it, and it looks fun, so I'll give it a try.
Mhm. All right. So that's Doom Patrol. Um. And there's no news on Doom Patrol for this week. So
Correct.
yeah. So I guess it's time to move on to news for the show.
Okay. All of our news this week is CW news. Let's start with Legends of Tomorrow, where Olivia Swan, who plays Astra, is going to be a regular in season 6, which I think anybody who is even passing familiar with Legends of Tomorrow is not surprised to hear that a prominent guest star in the previous season will become a regular on the Wave Rider in the upcoming season. But that's cool. I'm excited for that.
Yes, yes, and this does also seem Legends is the kind of show where you can have a bad guy, and if they stay on long enough, they get to become a good guy.
Always. It's one of my favorite things about the show.
So yeah. I look forward to seeing her on the Wave Rider and seeing how she contributes to the team. Mhm,
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
mhm.
Um and then we have a update for
Da la
Green Arrow and the
la,
Canaries.
Canaries
Kind of also
music.
Arrow, kind of also Arrowverse and Mark Guggenheim. And I don't know what kind of music tag you're going to put on that. But in an interview, Mark Guggenheim said of Green Arrow and the Canaries, actually, it's a little frustrating because people are constantly tweeting at me and I would love to answer, but there are certain things I'm not allowed to talk about until the powers that be decide we can. So, are we getting our Arrow spinoff starring Mia Smoke?
Ooh, I don't. I don't know. It sounds like a decision's been made. But he can't talk about it. The thing, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've been assuming no, but I don't know what he would. I mean, is he not allowed to talk about the no? It's just very strange. Very strange.
Well, that might be too. That might be too. You know, maybe it's just we want to keep stringing people along, or we're waiting it out just to see if there's any lingering interests. Or it may just be that yeah we want to do it, but we didn't have a place for it in the schedule, and maybe they want to try to make it a summer show. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's yet again they're stringing
Mhm.
us along with that. Anyway, Mark Guggenheim went on in that interview. It was with Digital Spy, talking about the Arrowverse in general. He said, "I finished with Arrow. I finished with Crisis on Infinite Earths. It feels like the end of a chapter for me. So I'm not entirely sure if there's another chapter to be had at this moment in time. At some point, I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing with the Arrowverse going forward, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. The Arrowverse shows are still going." So that is your Mark Guggenheim update, which is kind of strange to think of an Arrowverse without him.
Yeah, I mean he's been there on Arrow from the beginning. Yeah, it's kind of shocking. I hope that they find a place for him. I mean it would be a shame if he was expecting to be the showrunner on Canaries, and that's the show that doesn't get picked up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that would be. And I'm sure they'll find. Well, I mean, I would say I'm sure they'll find a way to
mhm,
bring him on. But yet,
mhm,
all the shows have showrunners. Is Mark Guggenheim going to step into like a Flash showrunner if a showrunner leaves? I wouldn't think so. I assume
mhm,
he has the juice to kickstart his own shows.
mhm.
So I don't know. I'll be really curious
Yeah, or
what he does next.
maybe have him fix up Batwoman. I don't know. Um,
This is really tangential. I read one article this week that said they should turn Alice into Red Alice, and that might be re-energizing for Batwoman next season. I didn't include it in the news ad. I'm just kind of mentioning it to you live on air,
mhm.
like because I like to walk a tightrope.
I'm not as familiar with that character, so
Sounds like
um,
anti-hero, but still kind of heroic. So it's just a different kind of Alice. But it was just
mhm,
one of those. Hey, we could do this, and that would be cool for Batwoman. So if
mhm.
Mark Guggenheim wants to be involved in that, that's cool. I want to keep Alice around. So I guess we're talking about Batwoman now too. All
Yeah.
right, that's your update. That's the news. That's all I got.
All right, and now it's time for our winners of the week. Um, I can go first.
Okay.
For me, it's simple. It's a theme, and it's really just the bad guys won this week. Um, on Stargirl, the ISA launched their synaptic amplifier, and it looks like they have control. And the giant candle monster uh, uh just just ate up Dorothy like she was a 4-year old. So yeah, I feel like the bad guys had a really good time this week.
And unfortunately, we only have one episode left to fix that with one show, and the bad guys just had a real good week with Doom Patrol, and that's all we get. My winner of the week, I'm going to be as straightforward as I usually am, and that is Jane. Like I said in the Doom Patrol discussion, I rarely am like, yeah, Jane, fist pump, but I was so glad when she showed up to stand up for herself, the other personalities, the body she inhabits, and to take that control back and autonomy and slap her no good boyfriend and drop that towel and swan out. So good for you, Jane. Winner of the week. Also, that hunting lodge. Oh my god.
All right. That's the episode.
That was brisk.
Yeah, that was brisk, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll see you guys next week with the Stargirl finale and our retro pick, which is Supergirl, the movie, starring Helen Slater. And Sarah, what are you going to be watching a baseball game today?
Oh, inevitably. I mean, are the Yankees still playing? Then I will be watching baseball, apparently. So,
all right, that's the DCTV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Little Eddie O'Hare.
And I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister show, the Wicked Theory Podcast. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!